Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today and welcome to the home of FIFA career mode hints, tips and news. If you are new to my channel and you do go on to enjoy this video, it really is a no-brainer to press that subscribe button. If you are already a subscriber, welcome back and thanks for your continued support. And if you want daily FIFA career gems content or you just want to get in touch, then why not head over to either my Twitter or Instagram. So as we all set off on our FIFA 21 career mode journey, you will be noticing there's quite a few changes with training and player development, so here's a few tips to help you along your way. So firstly, try not to worry too much about the group training sessions, simply because it has very little impact on player attributes or overall rating growth. So what the group training sessions actually do is they affect player sharpness, player fitness and player morale, which in turn affects the player's form. And form is massively important because that affects how the player performs in their designated development plan that we'll get onto later in the video. And within the group training, what we can do is we can change the players involved and we can also change the drills, which is very time consuming. One little tip, an easy way around it, is it always tends to train the players in the first team. So by setting up a second team sheet, like I've done here, calling one high potential, with some of the high potential players in there, this will then generate which team sheet is trained. As you can see, all the players have changed as I've reset the players to the high potential team sheet. And even though group training sessions do affect player sharpness and morale, it really is no substitute for giving your young players match time. That way you'll not get a negative impact on dynamic potential when that kicks in season number 2. It's massively important that you set up your training schedule at the start of your career mode. There's two ways of doing this. You can either do it via the weekly schedule or you can do it via the calendar. The weekly schedule lets you look at every day individually and change things should you choose to recovery, training or rest, but personally I much prefer to use the schedule rules within the calendar. Default settings are rest day before match and rest day after match, but I always change that to recovery day after match and keep the intermittent training weekly plan. But as the season progresses and you get more midweek matches, it's a good idea to go into the weekly schedule and arrange your schedule around matches. So finally we'll move on to the most important new aspect of player training, and that is the development plan. Within the growth section of the development plan, there will always be at least 5 options. The first one always being balanced, and that will train every single attribute and lead to a faster overall growth. However, the remaining options within the growth section will either upgrade weak foot, skill moves or work rate. The only downside to using one of these is less attributes will be trained, therefore meaning overall rating growth will be a lot slower. So it really is a bit of a tough choice. If you want to upgrade weak foot or skill moves, choose one of those options, but if you want faster overall growth, choose the balanced option. And as well as the growth options, we can also choose to train a new position. But again, the only downside to doing this is less attributes are trained, again leading to slower overall rating growth. However, on younger players, a couple of the positions will only take a few weeks to retrain, so there's no harm in doing that before moving to a balanced growth plan and then getting every single attribute trained to get faster overall growth. And by putting all these little tips together, I've managed to get some good results, firstly in the FIFA 21 beta before moving on to EA Play Early Access. And as you progress into season number 2 and so on, dynamic potential added with these little tips will also have a positive effect if you're managing your young players correctly. And just to round up, don't worry too much about the group training sessions. It has very little impact on players' overall growth. Remember to set up a second team sheet so the younger players can also be involved in group training, and use development plans for younger players to improve their weakest areas. So all that remains to say is thank you so much for watching. Please remember to tune into my channel next time. Well, for today, it's FCG out.